Hi, my name's Lauren from Lauren's Cravings over on Instagram. Welcome to my channel, and today's video is going to be about preparing for a baby on a budget. Now, there'll be a lot of handy tips and tricks, things that I've done, and also just showing you the kind of things that you can get even free if you actually plan. So we'll kick off with a few things, but my first point would be the earlier you start, the better. So when you find out you're pregnant, the quicker that you can actually start doing some of these steps, the better. It's never too early to be prepared. So let's kick off. So I'm going to break this video down into a couple of sections. The first one is free stuff, so totally free. You'll want to pay attention for that. Second is places and, kind of suggestions for where you can make savings or get things discounted. The third is various events. And then I've just got kind of like extras. So I will be referring to my laptop if you see me looking down, because with these videos I like to take notes, because otherwise I just ramble on forever. And I'm trying to make them short and sweet and snappy so that you get the highlights and you tips for where you can go and start searching yourself. In the description box I will put a few links to a few suggestions. They'll probably be local to Glasgow. I would encourage you, obviously, if you're from a different area or a different city, just use keywords or Google what I'm going to tell you, because you will have similar things where you live. So as I said in the intro, I started early. I found out I was pregnant at about 4 weeks, and by about 8 weeks, so even before I'd told some people, I was already on the free stuff and free cycle groups on Facebook. So that is my first, probably my most important point of the whole video, which is why I'm telling you as number one. And that is join free stuff or free cycle groups on Facebook. Generally they'll have like a local community name or local village names within the Facebook group as well. So again, just search your local area and join a few of them. I joined about 3 groups local to my area. And just to give you a flavour of what I got free, and you can imagine the savings, I think I've saved literally thousands of pounds. Thousands, okay? Because I've got free my Pram, my snooze pod, my Moses basket, bouncy chairs, Mama's and Papa's crib, car seats. I will caveat that by saying, you might not want to get car seats secondhand because you can't guarantee they've been in a crash. I obviously was willing to take the word of people that I was getting it from. Mattresses and cribs, snooze pods and Moses baskets, you might want to replace them as well. So sometimes there is a bit of a cost involved. I had to buy new bedding, but the actual large purchase, which is those items, I got free. Totally free. So I will show you a couple items in the next few slides of, some of the things, just to kind of give you a flavour of how they look. But it was a Quinny Pram, a Mama's and Papa's crib, a Mama's and Papa's Moses basket, an actual snooze pod for beside my bed. Them alone, as you can imagine, totals up to quite a significant amount. And when I tell people that, like somebody complimented the Pram, because we actually got both the bassinet for newborn and actually the kind of slightly inclined stroller, like attachments. So that is, it covers him from when he's a baby, and now he's into like 4 to 6 months as well. So that'll do me. It also gives me, I think, the time to review kind of what it is you want, because when you're pregnant, you can spend a lot of time, but see, until you've actually got a baby, you don't really understand what's going to be easy and work for you. So having those items has actually made me evaluate, okay, what is it I really value, whether that be aesthetic or time or, ease or anything at all, or just cheapness if you want to just go with the free stuff. Because that Pram, for example, has done me, and he's now over 4 months old. So totally what you value, what you want, but even the big items you can manage to make at a significant savings, and the free cycle and free stuff groups on Facebook are my biggest tip of this whole video. So this bouncy chair was free. Interestingly, I put him in it as a newborn and he hated it, and I thought, right, well, that definitely wasn't worth it. See, now he's a few months old, he is not out of it. He doesn't like lying on his back so much, and he loves these chairs. We have 2, one at my mum's and one here. And this is now one of my critical items, would you believe? It went from this was a waste to this is an essential. So just goes to show, try it with them a couple of times and they might end up growing into it. Mama's and Papa's Moses basket that we got for free. And this was one of those items, wouldn't have bought one and was so glad that I ended up having it because this is what he slept in for the first 2 months, as I mentioned. This is the pram. So we have upgraded to the kind of incline insert. This is also the John Lewis kind of lambskin liner that I've put into it. Which kind of moderates his temperature, but we got this totally free. And that big inflatable ring was also free because my friend had got one for us going swimming and he loved it, so I waited until one came up and we got that as well. This little wooden frame, which I put over him when he's on his Love Every mat, also free, and the little walker was dropped off by a friend because his little boy doesn't use it anymore. Also free. Snooze pod, free. So this was actually somebody on Instagram had messaged me saying that they had one and would I like it. And this is now what he sleeps in and probably will up until he's 6 months or over if I can get away with it. Nappy bin with a couple of cartridges. Probably wouldn't have purchased this, but because it was free, I wanted to know if I would use it, and I definitely do. So that was the bassinet insert for the pram. Sorry, you're getting a little bit of an insight as to the state of the nursery. But also got this free with the pram. Hence, honestly, such a huge saving if you can get the pram either second hand, free or refurbished. Not been built yet, but here you can see the Mama's and Papa's crib. Still to be assembled, but such good quality and you can hardly tell it's been used. In addition to that, and you can get this on those groups, are like bundles of clothes. So I have spent like hardly any money at all on clothes. What with the presents I got from people, the clothes bundles that I got from the free cycle groups, and hand me down from friends. So my friend Simone had brought me a big bag of like newborn and 0 to 3 clothes. I didn't buy any newborn clothes apart from what Simone had given me before Bryce was born, simply because you don't know what size he's going to be. So I was like, in case he's going to go quickly into the 0 to 3, I'll not buy anything. Bought some more newborn stuff, but a few pounds. A lot of people gifted me, so as like, you know, new baby presents, I got a lot of newborn stuff in 0 to 3. So I'm not lying when I say I think I bought 2 packets, 1 vest and 1 sleep suits, and that was it, because he pretty much lived in sleep suits for the first 6 weeks. I didn't put him in fancy little outfits. Sleep suits are all you really need, vests and sleep suits. And it was a wee bit chilly when he was born, so like I had like knitted cardigans and little woolen hats for when we went out walks, but he lived in sleep suits. We tip in there, the zip sleep suits are very handy. So I'll probably be discussing all this in another video, but zips are excellent. So yeah, hand-me-down clothes bundles and friends and family. So shared items. My friend had loads of stuff from up her loft, and that's not limited to clothes. It is other items as well. So ask your friends, go in the groups, ask. You'll get presents hopefully, and if you specifically want certain things, create a list for your friends and family, because they will be looking to buy you something. So if you do want specific things, specific brands, if you've got a specific, you know, item that you know you want, a branded item or a specific type or aesthetic or colour, anything at all, put that on your wish list for baby gifts when the baby arrives or in advance of. People will want to buy you something, so there is no shame in asking for specifically what you want. Or alternatively, ask for money because you want to put it towards specific things, especially if they are more expensive. So that is pretty much us finished with the free things, except for one tip that I want to give you. So Boots, the shop. So Boots Advantage card, I'd encourage you to sign up for a Boots Advantage card. And when you're a Boots Advantage card holder, you can sign up to the Parent Club. Now, the Parent Club, you get more points for items that you spend on baby stuff, for one. So obviously, if you know Boots, if you spend money, you get points, which means that you get money off because you can spend points. It basically translates into money. However, if you're also part of the Parents Club, you occasionally get free items, which is, for me, I got free breast pads, I got free mam bottles, and I got a free mam dummy. Now, Bryce hasn't taken a dummy, but from the discussions that I've had with people on my Instagram, mam dummies are probably one of the most commonly taken dummies for babies. So if you're not sure, but also you don't want to go out and buy some, you can buy a lot trying to find a dummy that a baby will take. Just to give you an idea, this is how many dummies I tried with Bryce. There are lots of different kinds of dummies, and he still didn't take one. But the mam ones came free. I'm going to see if I've actually got one here. Maybe I've given them away. Oh no, there we go. So that's them there. Just a small little dummy. And that came free in a bottle. Interestingly, the bottles came in really handy as well, because I obviously started expressing at about 2 weeks postpartum, I think, and actually having the bottles there. I had also got a free steriliser from a friend, so not on the Free Cycle group, a friend had given me a steriliser, meant that I could go on to giving an express bottle of milk sooner than I was probably planning, but it meant I had those items available and they were given to me for free. Whereas if I had to go out and probably purchase them, one, I wouldn't have had them readily available to me, and that in itself made my breastfeeding journey a hell of a lot smoother. So just goes to show there's more perks than just saving money to these things. And even just things like this in this bag, you can see my friend has given me mats, and this is for when he starts crawling, just to put in the floor. She had that up her loft. Another item for the savings and discounts is wait for the sales. So if you have, again, specific items or a specific brand, Mamas and Papas do sales quite regularly, John Lewis do sales. Get an idea of when those sales are going to be coming up and set your alarm to get on when the sales are in, so that you're not spending full price on whatever item that it is you're looking to buy. A Facebook group that is really handy for that is actually Baby Deals UK group on Facebook. It gives you an idea for events and also like when the sales are coming up, etc. I will link that in my description box so that you can join the group, and that will give you an indication as to when they are. Another thing is Pram Refurbishments. Now, I've seen this kind of come up a few times, so I obviously got my Pram free. However, if you wanted to buy a bundle, you could go on your Facebook Marketplace, your Gumtree, or another option is a Pram Refurbishment company. So one local to Glasgow, for example, is the Pram Project. I've linked that also in my description. If you're not in Glasgow city centre, or even if you are and you want to have a look at different options, just Google it. So basically it's prams that have been pre-loved, pre-owned. They are actually thoroughly cleaned, serviced, and then put up for sale again. And you would get a significant saving on some pretty amazing prams. Prams are one of the biggest expenses for when you have a baby, and they need to go in bassinet when they're newborns, etc. And then moving up. So, and also if you want the one with that actually comes with the car seat, although they do recommend not to have your baby sleeping in car seats for a while. I've seen an awful lot around, like when I was at Glasgow Fort, for example, where people had obviously taken their baby out sleeping in the pram and put it into the pram attachment and taken them around the fort like that. Totally your choice. I personally didn't. I always took them out the car seat, always, and put them into the pram. The pram normally sends your baby off to sleep anyway, so even if you momentarily wake them, taking them out to put them in the bassinet, they'll drop off again. Especially in the newborn stages, so like to 6 to 8 weeks, they recommend them not being in the car seat for very long at all, just with their spinal development. So just another wee tip there for you. I won a competition on Instagram for my Mamas and Papas voucher. Could quite have easily bought this full price. I waited on the Mamas and Papas sale and then I purchased it, and he will be getting into this once he is 6 months, hence why it's still in the box up in the nursery. Another thing you could do is go to second-hand or charity shops for any other items. So a Glasgow option would be Merry-Go-Round, and that is in Glasgow South Side. Again, I will link that in my description. Things from like stuff that you can feed your baby with, to pushchairs, to high chairs, to everything. It is there for a significantly discounted price and such good items. So I've not been yet, my friend has, and I'm looking to go because it's like a treasure trove of baby items for a fraction of the price. So this is more a tip than a trick. Basically, your supermarket brands for clothing is actually better. I wouldn't say better, but in terms of value for money. So really good quality, washes really well versus totally inflated prices of some of your other brands. So I got some lovely Mamas and Papas items, for example. Unless I'm buying it in the sale, am I going to get it? Probably not, because your F&F at Tesco, your Nutmeg at Morrison's, your George at Asda is all really good stuff for a fraction of the price. So let other people buy you stuff from the kind of nice places that's going to be like triple the price. Go to your supermarkets, pretty good. Plus, as they do the zippy sleep suits, just FYI. Keep an eye out for Amazon Prime Day. Now, just as a tip, Amazon Prime Day has already been for 2021. However, there is chat that they might do another one because they actually postponed the first Prime Day last year due to COVID, which then made it in October. So there might be a possibility that they might do another one in October this year. Just possibly. If not, you'll probably be waiting to like into spring next year. But that is another great thing for saving money. If you're anything like me, you will spend far too much money on Amazon, or even if your baby's here and you're feeding them in the middle of the night, trust me, it is a thing that you end up shopping whilst feeding in the middle of the night. My first purchase was, I think, the chocolate velvetizer from Hotel Chocolat, 80 quid, 3 AM purchase. And this is a video about spending money. Well, to be fair, I think I got £20 off. So it was meant to be 90 actually, and it was 70. I got a deal. Still for £70. I justify it by saying I spent a lot of money on other things. Another little tip would be if you follow certain brands on social media, so Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, look at their tagged photos, or even go into obviously their page as well. You'll be up to date on when they're doing sales, if they have any competitions running, and also if they have any potential discounts. So just keep an eye out, similarly like keeping an eye out in the Facebook groups and the free cycle and all those kind of things. Follow social media. Hopefully Tigra isn't, totally talking over me. It would be difficult to actually be loud enough to not hear me, but anyway. And you will be first to know on these things, which will save you a wee bit of money. And the last thing which somebody has mentioned to me, well, I say somebody, quite a lot of people, and it's all over social media, specifically on high chairs. You can spend an awful lot of money on high chairs. The best one that I've heard for the price, IKEA. And loads of places do things that you can accessorise and pimp it up, but I think it's like a 15 quid high chair, and everybody says it's absolutely amazing. So don't go too crazy on getting absolutely amazing high chairs. The IKEA one is the one to get. My mum, that's a lie. My mum has got me the Aldi a high chair. I've not built it up yet, obviously. As we all know, Aldi do great deals and special buys. I'm actually about to launch into that on the events section of this video. So I will talk to you more about special buys in Aldi in there. But high chairs, IKEA, I will go on to Aldi, because Aldi also is a treasure trove for like discounted baby items, whether that be in store or online. So events, as I'd mentioned, you can join the Baby Deals UK group on Facebook. That will give you notification when the baby events are coming up. So that's like the baby show, Aldi and Lidl kind of like special buy releases or baby events. Loads of shops do it, and they will give you indication as to when it is. Generally, for some shops, online is previous to in-store. So if you can get online and purchase the items, because they do go like absolute hotcakes, Aldi especially. For some things, I actually got my garden furniture, totally unrelated note, but garden furniture, and everyone is always like, oh my God, that's Aldi. And then they go on the website and obviously it's not available, but you had to be on at the release. My mum goes on, I think it's 7 o'clock for an 8 AM online release for the special buys. I got my car seat from Aldi. It was the 360. So mentioned previously, I got a free cycle one. I used that for a period of time, but then actually I started researching it a bit more, and the 360 just looked so easy and so comfortable. My mum had got one for her car, and we loved it, so we got another one, and that was the 360. I believe Joey do one as well, but Aldi's was, I think, £160, and honestly the quality is absolutely amazing. So in terms of events, you've got your Aldi's, you've got your Lidl's, I think you've even got Asda's, you've got Mamas and Papas, you've got the Baby Show. These events, they will always do discounts on the big name brands during these events. So join that Facebook group, the Baby Deals UK group on Facebook. It's linked in my description, and keep an eye out and get on. You will get mega deals on these like big brand names if you actually do and buy at the right time. One other thing to mention for discounts, so it should have been mentioned further up, but is Emma's Diary. So if you download the Emma's Diary app on your phone, basically you can download like kind of coupons where you can go into Argos and Boots and get like Emma's Diary bags. I shouldn't be advocating for this, right? But they don't always take your coupon codes. I think you get 3 coupon codes. I got many more bags than 3 because they never always looked at my coupon code. So I would sometimes just go in and use the same coupon until they actually scanned it. Thus, it was invalidated. Shh. But you get like little vouchers and leaflets for discounts in that, as well as little testers. So I got a tiny little Sudocrem tub, which actually ended up being one of my major like must-have items for having a newborn. But I wouldn't have got it necessarily off my own back to begin with. But I had the little tub from an Emma's Diary pack that I got free in Boots. Breast pads you get in there. I even got Vanish, which was really odd, but very helpful. Very helpful with baby clothes and the punamis that you end up getting. So load up on Vanish. But Emma's Diary. In addition to the coupons for the bags with the free items and with the leaflets, you can also go into the offers section, and occasionally they will link through to different websites where they have discounts on everything ranging to prams to cribs to everything. So definitely worth downloading. Plus you can track your baby's progress on that as well. So we all know we love doing that when pregnant. So Bryce has joined me up from his nap for the last bit of the video. But the last bit really is just talking about the various options for significant savings if you want to. Now these things are your formula versus your breastfeeding. Now, over a period of time, you will save money breastfeeding over formula, obviously. However, if you end up expressing, you do end up purchasing a pump, which in itself can be quite expensive. I obviously wanted the freedom of moving around if and when I was pumping, which is why I bought the Frapal mobile pump. Basically it's just the exact same as the LV at a fraction of the price. I will also link in my description through to their YouTube, but also if you have a look on their Instagram, I cannot recommend the product enough. It is absolutely amazing. I use it every single day, and I think it was like £80 versus the LV, which is about £250. So I bought 2, and that's still cheaper than buying the LV. Obviously you can get bits and pieces. I bought at the start. I'll probably be doing another video on the kind of the essentials for breastfeeding at the beginning. But overall, you would save more money breastfeeding over formula. Next one is disposable nappies versus your cloth reusables and also cloth wipes. So one that's recommended to me, which my friend uses, which is Cheeky Wipes. I will also link them in my description. I don't use cloth nappies personally. It's a personal choice, I think, isn't it? I just find the disposable, and I will totally own up to it being for ease. But again, so I think the disposables are apparently quite a big cost up front, but you save money overall, obviously, over the number of years, because they are in nappies like sometimes 2 years plus. So one tip that I did get from people is, even if you don't want to use it for their back end, the cloth reusable wipes are really good when they start weaning for food. So I think I will end up purchasing some for that purpose. And the last bit and last tip that I have for you is buy in bulk items that you know you will use lots of. So for me, nappies and wipes, we wait until there's deals on, and then we purchase in bulk. Oh, you want to turn around and say hi? So I do use Pampers and I do use water wipes. I know there are different ones. I again will discuss my feelings on the matter in a different video because I have trialled both Aldi and Lidl products, and my view is that Pampers is infinitely better in terms of nappies. I very rarely have little poo explosions, even though you do like doing them. And also wipes, you know, they're a good leading brand for a reason. I know people rip them off, but water wipes, in terms of moistness, they are the best in my opinion. So but again, if you want to save money, you could use cheaper brands. It depends what you think of them. I know lots of people prefer them even over the branded names of Pampers and water wipes, so purely down to preference. One thing I would say is I would encourage you to try them. I did, and what I do now is buy in bulk and get the discounts where I can on the name, the branded items that I actually want to buy. And one final thing just came to me, the Scottish Baby Box. If you live in Scotland, make sure that you register for the Scottish Baby Box. You get lots of really handy stuff like travel changing mat, clothes, and you get condoms as well, but it depends how desperate you are to reinitiate the romance in your partnership. Sorry, I shouldn't be speaking about that in front of you. But the key one for me actually was the baby sling. So the material sling is really good for when they're newborns. And then I upgraded up to the Baby Bjorn carriers, one of which I got gifted by my friend Sonia. And another one was the woman literally threw a Baby Bjorn carrier in addition to something else I'd went to pick up from Freecycle. So on the Facebook groups, like I was telling you about. So I went to pick up, I can't remember what it was, and she went, do you want this as well? And I was like, yes, please. So now we use the carriers quite a lot, and I have one at my mum's and one here. And those carriers in of themselves are, I think, about £80 or thereabouts. And that's us got two, and that is one of my like really essential items at the moment for taking him to places, especially when we go travelling or out to the shops or anything at all, because sometimes you don't want the huge pram. Right, so that's us, and that's all the tips I've got for now. Hopefully nothing else comes to me once I've posted this. Say bye! Bye! Thanks everybody for listening to my mum ramble on. Hopefully you found it interesting and she gave you some handy tips and tricks for saving monies. If you could like and subscribe, we would very much appreciate it. And even better, if you can comment and let us know if any of the things mentioned were particularly helpful. That would help us big amounts. So much. Thank you.